In this video, I will be working on a lab from the blackbox.com Cisco CCNA Gold Bootcamp. It's a paid course that's available at blackbox.com, and it is a VLAN and Inter-VLAN routing troubleshooting lab. So let's scroll down for our instructions. It says the campus LAN has been configured, but users are complaining of connectivity issues. Your task is to troubleshoot the configuration and ensure that all PCs have connectivity to each other. The exercise is complete when you can ping from engineering 1 PC to sales 1 PC. There is a configuration error on each switch. You will need to find and fix all errors before the network will work properly. Router 1 will be used as the default gateway. The PCs and router are configured correctly. Do not edit configuration on the PCs or router. And it says note that some commands may be disabled during the CCNA exam, so you should know the different troubleshooting commands. You must not use the show running configuration command or any derivative of it. You must not change the VTP configuration on any switch. And it says packet tracer can be a little slow to update after fixing problems. Try pings twice when verifying connectivity. So that's what we have to work with. So let's start with just a quick ping, because what we want to have happen in the end is it said engineering 1 to sales. If we had connectivity there, we succeeded. So let's check the problem by trying to ping sales 1 and 10.20.10, and we'll see what the result is there. I'm going to fast forward in time a little bit. There we go. The request timed out, and sure enough, we do not have connectivity. Said our problems are going to lie with each switch, the PCs, and the router are configured correctly. So let's start with switch 1 and pull up the command line, and let's do a get into project deck mode, and let's do show VLAN brief. Show VLAN brief command, and let's see what we have set up. So it looks like we have 3 VLANs set up, one for engineering, which is VLAN 10, one for sales, which is VLAN 20, and one for native, which is VLAN 199. And in the engineering VLAN, we have FA02, so this one's set up in the engineering VLAN, but this engineering PC is not. And then under VLAN 20, the sales VLAN, we have Fast Ethernet 01 and 03, so 01 and 03, so that is a sales PC, and that is in the correct VLAN, but 01 should be in the engineering, because that's an engineering PC. So let's start with fixing that. So we'll go to interface, conft, and we're going to do interface Fast Ethernet, and that was 01 that we need to fix. So 01, and let's do the switch port mode access command, and let's do switch port access is going to be for VLAN 10, which is engineering, and let's exit down and exit time. Let's look at our show VLAN brief command. Show VLAN brief. And now we have Fast Ethernet 01 and 2 are in the engineering. So 01 and 2 are in engineering, and that's correct. And 03 is in sales, so that looks good. Let's do a show VLAN status. How did that go wrong? Show. It's not available here. Yeah, there it is. VLAN. And what are my options? Brief. I wonder if it's, well, whatever. I'll skip that for now. I thought that was available here. All right, well, there was a problem that we fixed on switch 1. Well, I do want to check something. Conft show VLAN status. Can I do it here? No, it should be do show VLAN status. No, I have that command wrong, apparently. All right, so let's move over to switch 2 and go to the command line, and let's check switch 2. And we're going to do show VLAN status. Show VLAN status. Show VLAN. Oh, no, I'm using the wrong command. I want to do show VLAN brief. Okay, so see how this is configured. So we have the engineering, sales, and native VLAN set up. And for Fast Ethernet 01 is in the engineering VLAN, and 02, which is over here, is in the sales VLAN. So there doesn't appear to be any problem with that. That looks okay. So let's go to switch 3. Although it did say there's a problem on each switch, so I'll have to come back to that. For now, enable show VLAN brief. Let's see what we have set up over here. And we don't have all our VLANs. We only have native here. So switch 3 is missing VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. And so we're having a problem with a lack of configuration there. Let me go back to switch 1 again. And we're going to drop down a level. We're going to go show VTP status. See what the protocol shows for that. So on switch 1, we have a domain of black box. Its operating mode is server. Okay, that's fine. I don't see any other problems there. So let's push that over here for now. Let's check the VTP on switch 2. The status. And switch 2. There's no domain configured. Its operating mode is transparent, so we don't need the domain configured for that. And I think that's okay. And let's go over to switch 3 and do a show VTP status. And it is configured as a client, and it has the black box domain name. So it's not getting the information from switch 1. Switch 2 is configured as transparent, which is fine. It'll pass through the information, but for some reason switch 3 is not getting that. Let's look to let's look at the ports here. And to do that, we want to do let's look at the show interface, gigabit Ethernet 01, and switch port. So gigabit Ethernet 01, mode is trunk, operational mode is trunk. Showing it for VLAN 1. For access mode, VLAN 199, and that looks okay. .1Q. So let's pull up switch 2 now, and let's do a show interface gigabit. It's 01. switch port. And let's look at that setting. So we have, it's a trunk, VLAN 1 and 99, that looks normal. Okay. Pair that with switch 1.1Q, yes, it's a trunk, VLAN 1 and 99, okay. So that looks okay. Go to switch 3. And let's do a show interface, gigabit Ethernet 02 switch port. And we have operational mode is static access and trunking. So that is an issue, because if we look at switch 2 and compare these, we'll see the operational mode is trunk for switch 2, but access for switch 3. So that's something we're going to want to fix. So we'll go to it's going to be conft interface gigabit Ethernet, and that'll be interface 02 that we're going to work on. And we want to change that mode. So switch port mode, we're going to turn into trunk, and should be on over here. VLAN 199. All right, so back to switch 3, and we're going to do switch port trunk native, and that's VLAN 199. So let's again look at down. And let's do a show interface 02 switch port, and let's see where it is now. And now the mode is trunk, so that's good. That was probably an issue. Okay. So we have interface, interface gigabit Ethernet 01. Oops. Interface gigabit 01 switch. And show interface. Let's drop down. Show interface. Interface gig 01. So gig 101 is trunk mode, good. So let's switch 2, check the 2 interfaces. So let's do show interface gig 01 switch port, and it is in trunk mode, that's good. Okay, we're going to go and we're going to do a show interface gigabit 02. And it is also in trunk mode, so that's good. And again, we'll look at switch 3, show interface, and that was gigabit Ethernet 02 switch port, and it is in trunk mode, so that's good. So we have all of these as trunk mode. Let's see if this has the VLANs configured now. And to do that, we need to do a show VLAN brief. And it looks like we have our 3 VLANs. We have engineering, sales, and native on switch 3. And we have FA03, which is here, is part of the engineering VLAN. That's correct. For sales, we have 01 and 02. So here's 01, that's sales, and 02, that's also sales. So that looks configured correctly. I think that's all we need to worry about for that part. So let's look. Maybe we took care of the problem there. Switch to, I don't know if we solved whatever issue was there. Let's look at, so let's look at the show, switch to show interface. Well, we looked at these two. Let's look at, well, this one's down. Let's look at Ethernet 01. I did the wrong thing. That's Ethernet 01 switch port is what I want. And let's look at that. And we have our mode is access. That's not correct. We need to make that a trunk. I think so. Yeah, we need to change that. So let's try changing that. So we'll do a, let's go to key, and we'll do interface, and it's fast Ethernet 01. Oop, I did the wrong interface. That's it. Interface, that's issues today. Try again. Fast Ethernet 01, this one, right here on switch 2, and let's change that to, it was access, so let's do switch port, and let's change the mode to trunk, and we need to tell it switch port trunk encapsulation .1q. And let's look at the show. Need to do, let's do this. Show interfaces fast 01 switch port. Let's look at that again. Okay, so the mode is trunk, which is right. We want them all to be in trunk mode. So that's fixed. And I don't know. So I think we took care of a problem on each server. I mean, each switch. We had an issue with the VLAN incorrect here. We had an issue with the port being in access mode instead of trunk mode here. And this wasn't getting the updates from switch 1. But now it is. So let's see what happens if we try to ping from engineering 1 to sales 1. So 10.10.20.10, and let's see what happens. And we have success. So that looks like it's it for the lab, because it said the exercise is complete when you can ping from engineering 1, which is this PC, to sales 1, which is this PC, 10.10.20.10, which we just did, and we had success. So we had an issue on each switch. The first being the interfaces. We had issues with them being in the wrong VLANs. Switch 2, we had an improper configuration for as an access port when it should have been a trunk port. And link 3, we had issues with the configuration because we saw that we weren't getting the updates from switch 1. So that's the end of this lab, and I will see you in the next video.